Here are the most recent deaths in the national news, as reported at Legacy.com in the fourth week of March 2026. Visit Legacy.com to read full obituaries for most of the people featured in this video and leave your own condolences on their Legacy page. Actor Tom Georgeson died March 18, 2026, in London at the age of 88. He was frequently seen on British TV in shows like Boys from the Black Stuff, Doctor Who, and Between the Lines. Georgeson is also being remembered for his performance as George Thomason in A Fish Called Wanda. Actor and martial artist Chuck Norris died March 19, 2026, at the age of 86. He was a legendary action star, fighting his way through movies like The Way of the Dragon and Missing in Action, and his iconic toughness inspired a series of internet memes in the 2000s. He is being remembered for his starring performance in the long-running TV series Walker, Texas Ranger. Norris was a U.S. Air Force veteran who served for 4 years in the 1950s and 60s. Actor Ed Bernard died January 23, 2026, in Los Angeles at the age of 86. His death was announced this week. He was one of the stars of the 70s TV series Policewoman, playing undercover detective Joe Stiles. Bernard is also being remembered for TV shows like The White Shadow and Hardcastle and McCormick, as well as for such movies as Shaft. Actor Nicholas Brendon died March 20, 2026, in his sleep of natural causes at the age of 54. He was one of the stars of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, playing geeky best friend Xander in the cult classic TV series. Brendon is also being remembered for his performances in such shows as Criminal Minds and Kitchen Confidential. Former FBI Director Robert Mueller died March 20, 2026, at the age of 81. He was the director of the FBI from 2001 to 2013, serving under both President George W. Bush and President Barack Obama. He was appointed special counsel for the Department of Justice in the investigation of alleged Russian interference into the 2016 presidential election. Mueller was a U.S. Marine Corps veteran of the Vietnam War who received a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star for combat valor. Musician Ronnie Bowman died March 22, 2026, in Nashville, Tennessee. He died after a motorcycle accident at the age of 64. He was a bluegrass great who sang lead vocals and played bass with the Lonesome River Band throughout the 1990s. Bowman is also being remembered for his solo work, including his IBMA Bluegrass Award-winning songs Cold Virginia Night and Three Rusty Nails. Actress Carrie Fleming died February 26, 2026, of cancer at the age of 51. Her death was announced this week. She had a recurring role in Supernatural as Karen Singer, Bobby's wife. Fleming is also being remembered for her role in iZombie as Candy, a zombie who worked for Blaine. Actress Valerie Perrine died March 23, 2026, at her home in Los Angeles. She died of complications from Parkinson's disease at the age of 82. One of her most prominent roles came in Superman and Superman 2 when she played Eve Teschmacher, Lex Luthor's girlfriend and assistant. Perrine is also being remembered for her Oscar-nominated performance in Lenny, as well as prominent roles in The Last American Hero, Slaughterhouse-5, Can't Stop the Music, and more. Microbiologist J. Michael Bishop died March 20, 2026 in San Francisco. He died of pneumonia at the age of 90. He won the 1989 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for his work to discover genes that cause cancer, which profoundly changed our understanding of the disease. Bishop is also being remembered as an educator who taught at the University of California, San Francisco for decades and later became its chancellor. Yoga teacher Lilias Folan died March 9, 2026 at an assisted living facility in Loveland, Ohio at the age of 90. She brought yoga to a wide audience in the U.S. with her PBS program Lilias, Yoga and You, which ran for nearly 3 decades beginning in 1970. Folan is being remembered for inspiring generations of viewers with her gentle and calming yoga practice. Singer and songwriter Chip Taylor died March 23, 2026 at the age of 86. His best-known songs were recorded by other artists. He wrote Wild Thing, a chart topper for the Troggs, and Angel of the Morning, made famous by Juice Newton. Taylor is also being remembered for his own recordings, including such singles as Early Sunday Morning and Big River. He was the younger brother of actor Jon Voight. TV personality Mel Schilling died March 24, 2026 of complications from cancer at the age of 53. She was a dating expert on the popular Australian reality TV series Married at First Sight, spending a decade coaching contestants after their blind date weddings. Schilling is being remembered as a positive force who lit up rooms with her smile. Musician Terry Cox died March 19, 2026 at the age of 89. He was the founding drummer for Pentangle, the influential British folk rock band known for songs like Once I Had a Sweetheart and Light Flight. Cox is also being remembered for drumming on David Bowie's first major hit, Space Oddity, and on 2 albums for Elton John. Musician and songwriter Dash Crofts died March 25, 2026 at the age of 85. He was half of the 1970s soft rock duo Seals and Crofts, known for hits like Summer Breeze, Diamond Girl, and Get Closer. Crofts is being remembered for co-writing the band's hits and for playing guitar and mandolin along with singing co-lead vocals with Jim Seals. Some of the most memorable obituaries we've seen published at Legacy recently weren't for celebrities, but for everyday people like you and me. Tributes to loved ones like this fondly remembered musician from Portland, Maine, whose family writes that she passed away while making a Caesar salad. Croutons are still being held for questioning. This Washington, D.C. mom who dedicated 39 years of her life to serving the American people on the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. This Korean mom who moved from Seoul to Los Angeles and became a preschool teacher, a special ed teacher, and a pillar of the Koreatown community. And this Florida grandmother who lived to the age of 103 and was still traveling the world well into her 90s. At Legacy.com, any family can publish an obituary in honor of a loved one's memory, online and in local newspapers everywhere. Just visit Legacy.com and select your local community. In addition to featuring current deaths in the news, Legacy.com also honors the lives and legacies of notable people who died in the past. Here are some of this week's anniversaries. 5 years ago this week, actor George Segal died at the age of 87. His long career included an Oscar nomination for Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf and starring TV roles on Just Shoot Me and The Goldbergs. 5 years ago this week, actress Jessica Walter died at the age of 80. She starred in Play Misty for Me, played Lucille Bluth in Arrested Development, and had a long-running voice role in Archer. 10 years ago this week, actor and comedian Garry Shandling died at the age of 66. He won an Emmy Award as the co-writer of The Larry Sanders Show, in which he also starred, and he played Senator Stern in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. 10 years ago this week, rapper Malik Taylor, better known as Phife Dawg, died at the age of 45. He was a member of the groundbreaking rap group A Tribe Called Quest, known for acclaimed albums like The Low End Theory. 15 years ago this week, actress Elizabeth Taylor died at the age of 79. She was a giant of the silver screen who starred in such movies as National Velvet, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, Butterfield 8, and Cleopatra. 15 years ago this week, actor Farley Granger died at the age of 85. He was best known for his starring roles in 2 Alfred Hitchcock films, Strangers on a Train and Rope. 20 years ago this week, singer, songwriter, and TV host Buck Owens died at the age of 76. He had a string of 14 consecutive country music hits, including Act Naturally and I've Got a Tiger by the Tail, and he was the longtime co-host of the variety show Hee Haw. Every week in the United States, flags are lowered to half-staff to honor the lives of Americans whose communities are mourning their loss. Here are the most recent half-staff memorial flag honors. Flags in Kansas have been lowered to honor the memory of former state representative Melody McRae Miller. Flags in Idaho have been lowered to honor the memory of Nampa Mayor Rick Hogeboom. Flags in Delaware have been lowered to honor the memory of former state senator Nancy Cook. Flags in Illinois have been lowered to honor the memory of Chicago firefighter EMT Michael Altman, who died in the line of duty. Flags in Oklahoma have been lowered to honor the memory of Goldsby Fire Chief Brian Jenkins and firefighter Todd Pendleton, both of whom died in the line of duty. Flags in Arkansas have been lowered to honor the memory of State Representative Stan Berry. You can read more about the lives of the people featured in this video on Legacy.com. Follow Legacy.com on Instagram and Facebook, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube to stay up to date on national news deaths.